Hey guys, how are you? So in this video I'm going to show you how to paint a wall made of bricks. So just fill the background with a dark color, and on the top you just paint the bricks, just the overall shape, and you're starting to make the bottom a little bit dark to simulate the lighting come from the top. You can also start to painting some color variation around the texture. Don't worry too much about this, we're going to fix it later. We're going to mix the color properly, so just spread them around. And you can add some small bricks between the large ones to create some nice variation. And we can start to add another layer of color. It will be a lighter green to simulate the light. As it wall, the light will always come from the top. As you can see in my texture, you can clearly see the brush strokes, but you don't need to worry with this now. I'm going to polish later. And also something that you can do as we go, trying to kind of break all the stone, just maybe in the corner because it's more fragile. So if you think where it's easy to break, it's always around the corner when it comes a stone. So you can start to make that, just little breaks here and there. You can place some little stone to create some nice variation instead of to have just one block of perfect stones, you know. Also, something that you can notice is that you can try to minimize the space between the stones. Sometimes you see some texture with a strong line to make the division of each stone, but in the end it looks not so convincing. So try to minimize as much as you can the space between the stone. Okay. When you're painting a stone, something that you can think about is that you can try to break as much as you can, but not too much, because sometimes the texture looks very regular. You need to break that look, so try to offset them horizontally only. and it helps to make them feel more natural. So now to fix the seam, you can just go to filter, offset, and set the number like the half of the size of the texture you're painting now, so you can easily fix the seam. And also I'm trying to smooth everything a little bit to minimize all the visible brush strokes, and also adding more details here and there. You can just zoom in to see more clearly the details. So now I'm just adding some details on the surfaces. It can be just some dots and the scratches and cracks here and there. We're going to add some highlight later, and be careful with these small details. You can just make them very subtle, maybe in another layer, and make them the opacity. You change the opacity to make them very subtle. So now we can select some bricks to create some color variation. You can try, maybe you think some different color than mine is better. You don't need necessarily to do the same. I just think this one looks very well. When you're satisfied with that, you can just add some ambient occlusion. You can try a very blurry brush and something very subtle. And now finally let's add the highlights. Be careful with the highlights. It should be very subtle. If you want, you can just make a separate layer and you change the opacity later. It's safer. So now to change the color, I like to go, you can do that by going on the menu, select color range, and I like to select some colors and try to change them using Ctrl B to change the color. You can just try to see what works better for you. And this is pretty much everything. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, guys. Thank you very much for watching.